Alright guys, this is a video on how to change your car's oil. It's really easy and simple, and all you need to do is go to your local O'Reilly's, Walmart, basically any place that sells car parts, and get the right oil for your car. You can look it up in your owner's manual. You can just flip to the index and see where the maintenance is, or you can ask them at Walmart and place, and they can look up your car and see what type of oil you need. You also need a filter to go with it, just to filter out the oil. You always want to change the filter with the oil so you don't filter through the old oil from your old filter. All you're gonna need is a jack and some type of ratchet or wrench, just so you can loosen up the bolt on the oil drain plug. Alright, next, make sure your car is on a nice even flat surface so it won't roll back when you jack it up. Then you want to get under your car and look for a good spot to put the jack underneath. Alright, like you want to find good hard metal. Like right here, it looks really strong and sturdy. So this is where I'm probably going to jack up the car. Alright, now that you got your car jacked up, always put your car on a jack stand. Never leave the weight of the car on your jack. The weight of the car on the jack could give out. So always leave it on a jack or a tire. Once you have your car raised up, you could fit under. You want to look for the oil drain pin. Mine is right here, and then also look for your filter. My oil filter happens to be just right here. Next, you want to find a socket that can fit this size. Mine so happens to be a size 17. Once you break the nut loose, you keep turning and wait for it to start dripping, and make sure you have an oil catch pan underneath it, or else it'll make a huge mess all over your driveway. Right now I'm just using this yellow bucket that I had in my house, and then after I drain this oil into here, I'll put it into my new empty oil buckets, and then you can return it back to your nearest O'Reilly's or Advanced Auto Parts. So once you get loose, it'll start to drip. And your oil will be hot if you just ran your car. So I recommend giving it about 15 to 20 minutes for the oil to cool down so it won't burn your hand. And there it goes. And let it fill up. This only holds about 4 quarts, so it's a small engine. After you let your oil drain for a little bit, it'll start leaking out slowly. Then you can move to your oil filter. And normally you can loosen these by hand, but sometimes they get really sealed tight from the pressure that you'll need an oil wrench. But I don't have one, so I'm hoping I can get it off with my hand. Alright, so when you're ready to take off the oil filter, you wrap your hand around it, you turn it counterclockwise, and luckily this is loose, so I'm not going to need an oil filter wrench. So I'm going to get pretty loose with the rag, and then move this oil catch can right under there, and this will make a mess, so just be ready for it. Slowly dripping out. It's pretty hot still. Alright, pour the rest of that into there. And oil filters have this black rubber ring around the rim. You always want to make sure it's on the filter and not onto the connecting point, because that will mess up your connection whenever you put on your new filter and make your oil leak. So always make sure it's on here. Alright, now I'm about to fish out the plug. Alright, here it is. Alright, so the oil isn't that bad. You can see it's like an amber color. If it's dark black, that's really bad, and you really need a change of oil. All you want to do is just start it with your hand. And once you get it started, just screw it as tight as you can, hand tight. Make sure it's good, then grab your wrench. Alright, once you got your oil plug tight, hand tight, you want to tighten it with your ratchet. And make sure it's like hand tight. You don't want it too tight and break the bolt, but you want it snug. That should be good. Alright, then you can grab your oil filter And always make sure they look the same. Normally this one's the newer one's taller because it's a different brand. But if you turn to the side, make sure the diameter of this ring matches the same with the other one. If they aren't the same, that means you could have got the wrong size for your filter. You need to go back to the shop and get your right size oil filter. Then when you got the right size, make sure that you test this to the connection point where your filter goes. And I've already tested mine, that's why I have some oil right here. But get your new oil, dip your finger in it, and you just want to spread the oil around the O-ring so it'll get a nice tight seal. And then once you've done that, line it up and you turn it clockwise. And once it gets started, there you go. Spin it on there tight. And then you just want to make this the same. Not make it too tight, but you want to make sure it's snug. And I just tighten this with my hand. And that should be good. Then once I've gotten both the plug tight and the oil filter tight, I usually try to wipe down the underside of the engine just so I can see if it's leaking once I start the car. That means I don't have one of the two tight enough. Then you want to pop the hood and find your oil cap. Mine happens to be right back here. Like, it's gonna be hard to pour this in. So then once you find it, unscrew it. Comes right off. Make sure you put this somewhere that you won't forget. And then you just fill up the oil right there. Alright, once you tighten everything, get your oil. It's a lot easier with a funnel, but I don't have one. So you want to carefully always pour it this way. And even some bottles have it, but you always want to pour it like this so the air can flow out and it won't like gluck. Alright, stop it. So carefully pour the oil in. So far I've done 3 quarts. And it holds about 4.4, so then I'll have to check it later. Alright, and once I finish up this 4th quart, I'm gonna check on the dipstick, and mine happens to be right here. And check and see how high the level is. So once you fill it up, you want to check the dipstick. Make sure to wipe it off. Stick it back in. Wait about 1 to 2 seconds. Pull it back out. And then you can see very faintly these 2 dots. And you want it to be lined up about almost to the second highest dot. So I checked the dipstick and it wasn't filled up enough. So I'm about to put half of my 5th quart in and then I'll check it. But you don't want to overfill it because then you'll have to go back under the car and drain out some of the oil. Okay, I put about half of it in. Looking at the mark, and it looks like the oil is about right there. So I'm gonna fill it up just a little bit more. Alright, so I'm check it again. And the oil is right there. That's exactly where I want it. I'll wipe it off and then check it one more time just to be sure. Wait a couple seconds. Pull it back out. Alright, yep, that's good. So I'm gonna start the car up and let it run for a little bit and make sure there's no leaks under the car. Make sure to put your oil cap back on or else oil will go everywhere over your car. Make sure it's nice and hand tight, and then we're gonna start it. Alright, once you start the engine up, now you can check under it. I don't see anything leaking, but I'm gonna keep it running for a little bit and then I'll check and see if there's anything leaking. Alright, the car's been running for about 5 minutes now. I'm gonna check the dipstick. Alright, it's still in a good spot. And I'm gonna check under the car and make sure nothing's leaking. Alright, it doesn't look like anything's leaking, so I'm gonna say it's good to go, and then I'll just lower the car and then drain out the old oil. Alright, now once I drained out all the old oil, I'm gonna pour it back into this gallon and return it back to my closest AutoZone or O'Reilly's, because you can get money back and they can reuse this oil for the next fill up, so it just recycles and it's better to do. Alright, stop it. Alright, so I came up with this idea from my Chick-fil-A cup. I put a hole in the bottom and put it over the top of the milk, and I just poured it all in, and it worked out well. I got all the oil in here, so I'm gonna clean it up and then go and return it along with my oil filter, and that's it. Alright, so on this car I have an oil sensor, so I had to put it to the on position, and then you'll see the check engine light, and it's at 15%. So on the owner's manual it says turn to the on position, then go to the oil life, hold the thing that changes your odometer, and you hold for 10 seconds until it blinks. And once it starts blinking, then I'm gonna push the same button and hold it for 5 seconds, and it reset to 100, and then it'll just bring the percentage down over time and let me know the next time I need to change my oil. Alright guys, that's a video on how to change your oil. It's really fast and easy. I could usually do it in about 10 minutes, but this took a little longer because I was recording a video. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.
Bro, you see me doing well, see I'm working too.